invention of the sandwich, however you choose to define it, is sort of one of the great inventions of man alongside the wheel and fire.
Sandwiches are the ultimate in portable food. Whether it's a snack or your meal for the day, you know, a sandwich needs to hold up.
I think the sandwich is the ultimate chameleon food. I can take any sandwich you got, you name that sandwich. I'm gonna pick that sandwich up and I'm gonna put it in another part of the world. How long is it gonna take for that sandwich to become assimilated into that culture and for that culture to embrace that thing?
So people always talk about the legend of the Earl of Sandwich playing cards and having, you know, a ferocious appetite but not wanting to stop the game. Putting a few pieces of meat and cheese between a couple pieces of bread spawned this delicious revolution, gave rise to an entirely new category of food.
The jambon beurre is a very straightforward sandwich with a house-made baguette, salted butter, a Parisian ham. It's only 3 elements, but then each one being perfect makes the ideal sandwich.
The banh, right? When you look at it, it looks pretty French. It kind of looks like a, you know, jambon beurre. Then when you get a little bit closer, it's a little bit more Vietnamese, and it has all these, you know, there's other things going on.
A Vietnamese French sandwich. We do a home terrine, we do sausages and ham. To spice it up, some jalapeno aioli, some fresh ones. We do some pickled carrots and cucumber and radishes to contrast the fattiness of those other elements, and fresh herbs.
The muffuletta was one of the very first sandwiches I ever had, and also probably is my favorite.
This is the traditional sandwich in New Orleans. This is the first place made in the central grocery.
The stuff in between the 2 pieces of bread and the quality of the bread is so crucial. Sandwiches like the muffuletta that have a gazillion different condiments, tons of different kinds of meat, slice it up and you have a friend making meal, you know? And until you've had a great muffuletta, I don't think you've lived a full life, especially if you're a fan of sandwiches.
The definition of the excessive sandwich that you could feed 5 people from.
We live in a culture sometimes of excess, and sometimes they're wonderful extremes, and sometimes they're sort of grotesque. The Dagwood sandwich, which goes back to cartoons from the 1930s.
I think sandwich building is an art form. If you're gonna make like a Dagwood, then you have to put in some thought process into there.
A New York Deli style sandwich with 1.5 pounds of meat and 2 wimpy little slices of rye bread. I think it's an incredible experience and I enjoy it, you know, going to Katz's and sharing a massive sandwich and some matzo ball soup with your buddy.
A sandwich can be lunch, breakfast, dinner, snack, a second dinner, a third lunch, whatever, right?
I love breakfast sandwiches. My favorite thing to eat for breakfast is the breakfast sandwich.
You eat it and there are a lot of different things happening as you're chewing it. There's lots of little pops of flavor. It's not like one static experience. You're having like lots of little things to investigate.
Scandinavia, it's all about the smørrebrød.
It's something we eat for lunch every day in Denmark, where I come from. It's a piece of rye bread with different toppings. Probably a 200-year-old tradition in Denmark.
It sort of goes back to the dumpling, and that you're looking for the perfect bite. And if you have different ingredients in a sandwich, you want to be able to taste all of them in each bite, and you want the right ratio of each.
You start with the bread. It has to be a great piece of bread, regardless of what kind of sandwich you're making. So we're using these beautiful braised meats that go through a 5-day braising process. And we're adding all kinds of different ingredients that will add sweetness, crunchiness, spice. We're always thinking of kind of how to balance the different flavors and textures of a sandwich.
The sandwich is the ultimate like clean slate. It's the ultimate like blank canvas for you to do whatever you want.